don't share it, it's a secret. Don't share it, it's a secret.
Yo, what's going down? It's your boy, the young boss hog, Natomas Slimm, and we chopping up gang with the legendary, the one and only, the pioneer, the legend himself, DJ Yella. Yella, what's going on, my man?
Oh, not too much. Just staying healthy. That's all.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on, man. You got some big things in the works right now. You just released a book, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, just a couple of months ago. Yep.
Yeah, so it's straight out of Compton, the Untold Story, right?
Yeah, my untold story.
Yeah, your Untold Story. Yep.
Yeah.
So, what is that about? Is my Untold Story? So, is this stuff that we didn't see in the movie Straight Outta Compton? Is this something that you weren't able to interject in there, or is this just your take on what everything happened within NWA?
It's just my story from 5 years old to 2020. So happened to be NWA in the middle of there and break up before NWA, the World Class Wrecking Crew. Afterwards, I mean, it's a lot of missing pieces that's in there, but it wasn't made because my story was small in the movie. I liked the movie. The movie was cool. It was great. And it had nothing to do with that. It just, over the whole pandemic, a year and a half, it's amazing. God just told me to write this book. And I had never opened a novel before in my life. Never read one. Not at all. And he just gave me the words, detailed. I mean, I just went back. This is how it went. Not to show that, oh, I did this first, I did that first. No. It's just what happened. From being a child, high school, all that, leading up to the, even DJing first before 2 or 3 years before Dre was even thought of. It wasn't even around. I mean, it just, my whole story, it just came to me.
It's like a biography. It's like an autobiography of your life. So what made you want to do, what made you want to do that? What made you want to say, what in the pandemic made you go, I needed people to know my story, my life, how I came to be who I am?
Well, it was, I told you, it just came to me. God put it on me to write this testimony right here, to show the people, this is what I did all my life. Wasn't thinking about God, never looked, nothing, until I went homeless, all kind of stuff. Got saved in the church, it's just a whole testimony. NWA just happened to be part of my story, but the book wasn't made NWA tell all, throw people under the bus. Nah, it ain't that kind. Nah. A person would have to really read it to see what it's all about. It's been great reviews from everybody.
Yeah, no. It definitely have. I haven't got to read it all, but I have been reading it. And it gives you a good look at what was going on back then. I'm a little younger dude, right? I'm in my 30s. So NWA is a little bit past my time. But you got started even way before NWA, which is, I mean, I ain't trying to age you on this, but that's further past my time.
Old school.
So can you talk about that? Can you talk about how you got into hip hop? You know what I mean? Because you got into it when it was basically in the birth of it, right? It was nothing there. It was still just a seed getting watered and stuff. So
it already started on the East. It was just in their city, that's all it was, only in the East. And I started DJing after high school, maybe a year after high school. I never thought about DJing, it never was even a thought. And back then you couldn't Google nothing. You couldn't go to YouTube, University of YouTube. You couldn't watch TikTok, none of that. All that was wrong. We had to come up with stuff, just create it, think of stuff. Back then, a lot of people use their brains. Nowadays you just say what you want and just pop up right there. So we had to do it the hard way. And I just started DJing in the club. And the crew that was there happened to be called the Wrecking Crew, but it wasn't music until Dre came, until we, maybe 2 years later. So I was just doing all this stuff, trying to create back then making mixtapes. Back then, mixtapes was really mixtapes, not people rapping on them. No, it was really DJs mixing. You know, there was a lot of stuff I did that was, you know, I ain't gonna say it was first, but it was, nobody else was doing it at the time. So
yeah, so you have 8 brothers and sisters and stuff. Did any of them influence you to get into the music, or were some of them saying like, what are you doing? This ain't going to do something? Because I remember my parents used to say that they thought hip hop wasn't going to last.
Yeah,
they thought it was going to go out like disco.
Oh yeah,
type of thing. Were you hearing that same type of thing, or were your family more like, hey, this is something that I think you could go far with?
You know something? No, I mean, because we all 2 years apart. And I'm the youngest boy, and there's one girl under me. So I didn't hang out with my older brothers and stuff. They had their friends. So I didn't have nobody to even talk to this about at all. So I had to make decisions and think on my own, you know, being young. So I just did it. I mean, my brother, because I guess I'm a musician. I play the drums. I'm the only one out the group that was a real musician. But my 2 oldest brothers, one played drums and one played percussions, but that was it. They used to have a little band, but I used to just watch it, but I never thought of being in a band or being in a group or none of that stuff. It's because they were so, you know, 10, 12 years above me. So it just, I don't know. It's just amazing how it even happened.
Yeah. So in your book, you talk about how your parents divorced. Yeah. How did that divorce affect you? What came from that? I mean, you know, like life-wise from that divorce, did it have any impact on you?
I don't think I was too young. All the kids was by the same parents, which is rare these days. We know that.
The 9 of y'all, right? It was 9 of y'all all together, all by the same parents. Oh, you're never going to see that again. That's one in a lifetime right there.
So when they got divorced, I guess I was like 4. That's around where my book started. But I really didn't know nothing about that. You know, my mama took us with us to my grandmother. So that's basically, I don't know, it didn't affect me, but later, because I didn't have nobody to talk to. You know, my father, even though my father was right across town in Inglewood, but still my brothers and everybody above me had the mom and father. They did all the stuff, dressed alike on the pictures. Me and my younger sister, we didn't get that. So I guess they was at the tail end.
Yeah.
So after we was born and stuff, and that was it. So I didn't know really nothing about it at all.
Okay, let's fast forward to you said the Wrecking Crew. Before it was the World Class Wrecking Crew. Before Dre got into it. So what was the Wrecking Crew at that club? It was you and whom else was part of that?
It was me and a guy named DJ Unknown was the DJs in there. Okay. And Lonzo was the club owner. So, you know, we DJ'd, you know, he DJ'd first and I DJ'd the prime spot back then, 12 o'clock, 12 to 2. That was the prime time right there. and I just did it every Friday and Saturday for a couple of years, 2 or 3, maybe 3 years. I mean, but me and Unknown would try to do different things, like make remixes for songs, like Thomas Dolby song, Blinded by Science. You know, that was like ahead of its time. You know, people trying to do a remix, you know, a DJ, you know, we were just trying to be a step ahead of any other DJs. We were solid because we had a club to go to every Friday, every weekend. You know, the other DJs, you know, would do dances every once in a while. You know, they wasn't all the time. But us, every Friday and Saturday, sometimes Sundays if it's a holiday on Monday. So we did our thing.
How did hip hop make its way to the West Coast? You know what I mean? Like you said, there was no Twitter, there's no YouTube, there's no TikTok, no Instagram. How were y'all able to latch onto it? Because, you know, New York is far ways from it, literally across the country. From LA. So how did y'all get it, and what made y'all gravitate, or made you more so gravitated to it?
So I met Dre, and we were just DJing. You know, he had from 2 to 2 to closing. I still had the prime spot, so I was the DJ. So he'd been there a while. We've been just doing DJ, and then we started doing shows, bringing groups in. because only thing you hear, it wasn't hip hop radio really, so it wasn't no hip hop. So if you had to go to the record store and buy what's the latest thing, Run DMC was out. So we hired, they came to the club to perform. This was their first time in LA. And me and Dre, I remember me and Dre sitting next to the little stage. They do their show, 10-minute show. That was it. Because they only had sucker MCs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Dre looked at each other like, that's it. That's all it takes. This 10 minutes, that's it. And from then, that's when music came. That's when we did it right then.
Man, you saw Run DMC and y'all was like, we could do that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they just a DJ and they rapping and, that's all, a little 10 minutes. That's it. It's really nothing spectacular to their show. They just rapping and, we said, something, we can do this same thing.
So from you linking up to Dre, how did that catapult into NWA? How did that catapult to Eazy-E, MC Ren, DOC? Was DOC part of it? Yeah, DOC.
He wasn't a part of it, but he was eventually a writer, and then he had his own solo artist.
But how did it catapult into to all of that, right? Because it wasn't there's another member of NWA that left early, right?
Arabian.
Yeah. So how did all y'all mix in together?
Well, what it was, we was in a wrecking crew. We started doing songs and stuff. And then we was making no money, besides doing little shows. If we did a show, that's how we made money. But we weren't making no money. So eventually, after a couple of years of making music and no returns, I had to get me a job, a valet job. I remember that. And that's when Dre, Easy, and Q went in and did Boys in the Hood. They created that song. And then I remember Dre telling me, he said, man, we're going to make it this super group. Me and you from the Wrecking Crew, and then Easy and Ren, and then Arabian Prince, he was a solo artist at the time, so pull him in, and we're going to make and Q, he was around the Wrecking Crew, a little subsidiary of us, and just make one group. And that's how it started right there.
So it was basically you, Dre, and Cube on one side, Easy, Ren,
and then Arabian on another
Arabian on the other side, and then y'all linked forces like Transformers came together and just made NWA. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Man, so with NWA, how was that? Like, because you were that one person that nobody had anything bad to say about, right? It seems like you weren't part of, like, when NWA broke up, you were still just, you were Switzerland, you was the middleman, you was Netherlands, you was like, yo.
I mean, I was just always just in the cut, really. Me and Dre producing, it was just in the cut. I don't rap. I never wanted to rap, so that wasn't my thing. And the interviews, I didn't say too much in interviews. I'm always the one I'm just there, quiet. So
how were you able to navigate that though? How were you able to navigate the beef that they had and without choosing a side?
Well, you kind of look at it this way. What you hear is not what it is. There was no inner arguing. Nobody ever argued. Never. Even when Cube left, it never was. We sat around and talked about, oh man, that never happened. Never. Not that I know of. And, Q left. This is how everything fell apart. You got the group, 5 members. Arabian been gone. Arabian, when we started making Straight Outta Compton album, Arabian was already gone, back to his solo stuff. So you got the 5 of us. No arguments, none of that, like brothers. It's the ones on the outside circle, looking in, whatever they can come up with, whatever it is, telling people what they want to hear. That's how we broke up. That's how it fell apart. It's the outsiders talking to the insiders. So, that's what I said. It never was heated arguments in the studio. Nah, I ain't never seen that. Not at all. So it's the people on the outside. I ain't naming no names, but it's the people on the outside.
Yeah, people in other people's ears. You know what I mean?
That's all. That's it. That's how you got that.
but when the discs is started to come,
yeah, I was still neutral.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How were you able to stay neutral? Because you were the only, I think like you and Ren was kind of neutral too, but you were truly the neutral one.
Yeah, I mean, eventually Ren left too. You know, I mean, eventually left. So I was just there, and E already knew when he made the diss song not to come ask me to be in the video. Don't be a part of the song. None of that. Because he just knew I had nothing against Drake. None at all. I ain't got nothing against you. I'm just in the middle. So he knew. He knew. Don't come to me with that. We never talked about that at all.
Do you how far do you think NWA could have went if y'all never broke up?
Not as far as it is now.
So
it had to break up.
It had to break up to have the impact that it has.
Think about it. Cube had to leave to go where he was going. And then when the group, I wouldn't say a breakup. I just say it just dismantled, just dissolved. That's all it was. And Dre had to leave to go where he went. And then think about it. We broke up or fell apart or whatever it was. We was at #1 on the charts, on the bill. #1.
You don't get that a lot. You get a lot of groups dissolving.
I did 40 interviews in the past 2 months. Nobody can name one group that did it.
Yeah.
We broke up at #1. We just shipped gold initially. Nobody done that in hip hop back then. Ship gold out the gates. And then we fall apart. The group is over. By the time you see the few videos, the group is really over.
Man,
it's really over. Nobody does that. Not even the big rock and rollers.
Yeah.
How many break up on time? They usually break up at the bottom when they can't get on the charts. Broke up. But then think about this. It had to break up. So 30 years later, a movie, the Hall of Fame, and it starts selling all over like it's new again.
That's speaking of the selling. So because I know some of Ice Cube reasons why he left was because of money issues. So right now, are you getting the residuals from what in the NWA and stuff? Like your paperwork and stuff is good on that one?
Yeah. I mean, well, think about this. We was young back then. We did, I say NWA was probably like late 86, early 87. We didn't sign any paperwork until the middle of the tour in 89. That's after all these JJ Fads, gold single, gold album, Easy Does It, double platinum, straight Outta Compton, double platinum, But it wasn't E doing that. It's just the management for some reason. I'm quite sure E was signing papers. He had no idea. Here it is. You got this little ghetto guy, and then millions of dollars is coming in. Oh, sign this. Sign this. He don't know what he's signing, because this to tell it all in one thing. There's a manager. I ain't gonna say his name. I don't diss people. I call him Mr. Manager in the book. He's the manager. He getting 20% of NWA. Okay, I can understand it. But he also getting 20% of the record label, which was Ruthless. So there's a conflict right there. We being young, we don't know that ain't supposed to happen. The group's supposed to have its own management and all this. The label have its own, all that's just the way it is.
But you know what? What happened to y'all is still happening right now. Because I remember Tiger was did an interview where he was saying that his lawyer was the same lawyer for the record label.
That's the problem.
Is
it illegal? I doubt it. But is it immoral or just
unethical?
Thank you. That's the word.
Yeah.
It's conflict of interest.
Definitely.
But by us being so young, think about it. Ruthless, it was a 4-year span. 87 to 91. Hit after hit after hit. We was the new Motown. We was the new Motown. So it just was hits after hit. We didn't have time. We stayed in the studio. And when we finished Straight Outta Compton album on a Friday. We finished Straight Outta Compton album on a Friday. On Monday, Dre said, yeah, we finna go do the DOC's album.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. I don't want to go. So he did the DMC. I didn't feel like doing it. I was like, nah, I'm good. We just finished this one, but it just, we were so, not hot. We were just so back to back.
Yeah, y'all
so paperwork was never even talked about. Never.
So how did y'all
get into the middle of
were they just giving y'all money like here's 1,000, here's 5, here's that, here's a house, here's a car.
Just things, okay, here's some, buy, man, he called me one day, said, hey, I'm going to get a new car. All right, I roll with him. And you looking at it, he buying, these are the sidekicks that was in that poster or whatever we did that we were sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
It was he said, I'm gonna get this white one. He said, you want one? I said, what? Yeah, I want that green one right there. I mean, nobody ever just pay cash for what? So we were just young. It wasn't like he was manipulating or doing, nah. He was new and fresh, just like us. Same thing. So
y'all was what, in y'all 20s, right?
Early 20s. Oh yeah. Cube was
early 20s.
Maybe 18, 19, him and Ren. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, because I was the oldest. E was 2 years under me, then Dre was another year under, then Cube, and then was younger. Yeah.
Oh, so y'all really didn't have any money in the first place. So everything that y'all was getting, y'all was happy with.
Oh yeah, it was cool. I mean, these are our friends, we buddies. So you don't think, oh, somebody's beating me out of it. Nah. It's just management. I know what it was. It's management. They know how. They've been in the business for years, from the 60s and stuff, 70s. So they know about publishing, writers, artists, producers, all these different levels of, we didn't know
about it all. Man, that is so.
Now think about this. In 89, in the middle of our tour, that's where we got, and it's in the movie where Cube go in to see the manager about the contract. That really happened. I remember going in, big old contract about like this, a contract there, and there's a check for $75,000. We like, I picked the contract up, turned it over, signed it. I had no idea what was in it. No idea. $75,000 in 1989? Are you? But that was just us being young. I call it young and dumb, but we're just young.
Yeah.
Talented and young, and that's it. We had
you
to
just
learn.
Don't know. It's not dumb. It's not, you don't know. If you don't know, ignorance is one of those things where you gotta experience, you gotta understand it. If you haven't been taught it, you ain't gonna know it.
Yeah.
We
learned the hard way.
And then somebody put $75,000 in front of you, the most money that you ever seen in your life. It's going to be really hard to pass that up.
Yeah. Oh, no. Let me look at that contract. Now, let me, we should have had a lawyer look, all that stuff. But we didn't know.
Man, what 20-year-olds talking about getting a lawyer? What I mean? Like, come on now.
Especially when you got hits already, gold and platinum and double platinum. Just like, come on. It just.
Yeah. So how was, that contract that you signed later on, did you realize, oh man, that was kind of not the best contract to sign?
I don't know. I never read it. I never looked at it. I never looked at it. But that kept us still paid today. So I guess it worked because that was all because they don't put our music. If you ever notice, they don't put our music out on compilations. Never. Ours is only out if it's a greatest hits or the movie where they use the original tracks. So the original tracks, you get paid like it's original all over again. That's how it is. If they replay it, it's different. But they had to play the songs. So but we couldn't, the masters or something, we couldn't get the instrument. Something was going on. I don't know, but
but
they had to pay us.
But you still getting the checks from it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when Straight Outta Compton hit, was that like a resurgence of? And I mean, NWA has always been NWA.
No, that's the right word. That was like not a resurgence, a whole new start again. Because think about it, social media is around. So the movie went all the way around the country. I mean, not the country, all the way around the world at once. And it just shot up and just, now you got 20-year-olds, like they've been listening to it all this time. I'm telling you, it opened up just a whole new world of fans. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we are probably one of the few groups, rare groups, that just is still hit today. Think about all the protests last summer. Straight the police song was the number one song.
Yeah, I mean, it's the original protest song.
Yeah.
I mean, police protest. I mean, you still had,
even though it wasn't made for that, but
was it not made for that?
Yeah, nah.
What was it made for? What was it? Hold on, I gotta understand this. What was that made for then? Because that sounded like a protest song talking about what's going on. Police need to change how they treat black folks.
But think about this though. We didn't create that song. We just that situation was there in the 50s, 60s, 70s before our time. We just had to have the, I ain't gonna say the word, start with a B, to say that out from back then, people wanted to say that to the cops, but you wouldn't. Nowadays, they get in their face and all this. That's different. Back then, you would not say that or point finger. We just happened to say it. And it was just like, it was 30 years ahead of its time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we didn't make it because, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great protest of that. No, we made it. This is what happened in the ghetto. We even got jacked. It didn't happen exactly like that in the movie, but we have got jacked by the police in front of the studio because the studio was in a city called Torrance. And our color don't go out at night.
Don't go out in Torrance. Well, Torrance kind of changed. Now, I'm from SoCal too, so Torrance.
But even today,
but it's not as I know what you mean.
You won't roll deep.
Yeah,
with 4 of us in the car. Nah, you don't do that. But that's how it was, and we got jacked in front of the studio. But once they found out we ended up just making music, they never done it again. That's why we ended up taking pictures sitting on the front of the police cars. I seen some pictures that I said, wow, I forgot we did that. But that song, it was just saying something that people been wanting to say for years.
Man,
we just happened to say it.
Yeah, but what's crazy is that because like you said, what you guys were rapping about was happening in the 50s and the 60s and 70s. And what you guys are rapping about is happening right now in the 2000s.
Oh, it ain't stopped. No, it ain't stopped. I told this a few years ago in the interview. I said, until the day they start giving cops 100 years or whatever, then it might start slowing down. Right now, they not, they still getting off. And so now they just happen to be, everybody got a camera. They even catching themselves with the body cams and so, but it's been going on. Just imagine all the stuff they didn't catch on video.
Man. What gets me just about that is during y'all era and before, when there just wasn't cameras.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It was just your word against the police, and they ain't taking.
And you don't say nothing about it. You just okay. They beat us up or they jacked. Okay, whatever. That's just how it was. Oh man, it's been going on forever. I mean, that's just how it is. It ain't, but the thing is, it's not all the cops. It's just a few. Just like in our culture, it's just a few that makes us look all bad. No, we're not all the same. We don't even all look the same.
Hey, you guys got the star on the Hollywood Walk.
No, that Cube got one.
Cube, NWA didn't get one?
No. I'm gonna tell you the secret to that.
No, hold on.
No. You pay for that spot. You know that.
You pay for it?
You didn't hear me say that.
I just did. Hold on. Wait. So you pay for a spot on the
I'm not saying no words.
Hey, you know what? I would pay.
Look at how many people
spot, man. NWA needs to be on there. Y'all are literally legends, pioneers, innovators. You are the first of the first. Y'all need to.
I told the movie company, when they was a year before they actually shot it, I told them, I said, y'all should put that into promotions, us getting a star. But it takes 2 or 3 years to get a star. If you sign up today, 3 years later, you probably get it. So the timing was not right. You had to do that before the movie.
And y'all need us. I'm starting a petition. NWA needs a star. There's no, I mean, shouts out to Cube. Cube deserves one too. That's you know what I mean? But NWA as a whole, y'all need to be on there.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all are the Beatles of hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, I don't say that, but that's what they say.
Y'all are, because the influence that y'all have on a culture, granted, me being black, y'all are way more influential than the Beatles, like Beatles, I appreciate Beatles for music wise, not for culture wise. You know what I mean? Yeah. Y'all changed the culture. Y'all are the culture.
But think about this: the Beatles did the same thing. They changed the culture. It was just a different culture.
It's a different culture. I know. That's why I said I was talking about me. You know what I mean? Yeah. My culture right here. Y'all changed the culture for black folks, and y'all propelled music, especially on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Like y'all being, because it was just y'all and Ice-T, probably
Ice-T, and then a couple of locals. Mixmaster Spade. He's one of the originals, and it wasn't very many. Wasn't very many at all.
And then y'all made that and catapulted LA into what it is, and then expanded to the Bay with the the 40s.
Now think about this. Shorts. I tell this about the people. Think about it. You go back to the Wrecking Crew days. Me and Dre is that egg when we started music. Look how much came from that egg. Snoops, Eminems, 50 Cents, Easy, Q, Ren, NWA, JJ Fad, Michelle at DLC. It's so you could just go on and
you go on. Kendrick, The Game.
Thank you. You could just I don't think I don't know if there's another seed like that in music.
Damn.
No, that's a good question.
That is
a lot of Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's so much. Man, I mean,
I think the only closest one will probably be Puffy. Will Puffy be the only?
Not as many. I mean, they had their clique and but this one has so many, and it covers so many places. Eminem, Detroit, Bone Thugs, Cleveland, Snoop, Long Beach, in Compton. You just keep going.
50 Cent, New York.
Thank you. It's so much. Wow. You almost can't name them all. It's so many.
Yeah.
Warren G.
Nate Dogg?
It just keep on going.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, y'all have
I got you thinking about that one.
Yeah, got me thinking. Got me thinking. Man. And then when Tupac came to
thank you. That was another another one.
That expanded Pac to a whole new man. Yeah, that web. Y'all that's a family tree right there.
Oh yeah.
Somebody needs to put that together. How all y'all link out to everything, man.
Oh yeah.
So how is your relationship with Cube and Dre and Ren? Are y'all still?
There was never a problem. We may not have talked or seen each other. Like me, I haven't seen Cube. I haven't seen Dre since 2019, but we still text. Everybody going this way. Everybody doing their own things. Just we older. Everybody got lives. That's all it is. But there never was really no beef or none of that. And we just might not have talked to each other for this amount of time or this amount of time. But I'm like, wow.
Going back a little, there was trying to be a to bring NWA back. Did they bring Snoop into the group or something? Well, I remember.
And it wasn't even an NWA. It was a Cube. Them was Cube songs. Chin Check and Hello was Cube songs.
Yeah. Okay.
It was not NWA songs. And Snoop just happened to do the in the breaks. In the song, he wasn't replacing E. You can't replace E.
No, you can't.
It's just how it is.
Yeah,
you just would have to do something without it. You can't replace it. But yeah, that's what it was. It's just And then we got back together for the first time. This was right after the movie, right after the Hall of Fame, which we didn't perform at. Every group
After
does.
y'all was in the Hall of Fame, with a little
the
better
next
than a
week,
star. Y'all was in the Hall of Fame. That's good.
Next week was Coachella. This is the first time we've been on stage together in 30 years at the Coachella.
At Coachella.
Even Dre was there. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that's dope right there. Like you said, you know what? Now thinking what you said, like NWA had to dissolve.
Yeah.
In order for y'all to be who y'all are right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it had to dissolve for y'all to have the impact that y'all have on.
Because think about it. NWA was going, it didn't fall off, they make hits no more. No, but it was gone.
It was gone.
Then all the other people, now they came back again with a movie, then Hall of Fame. You know, it's just one of them rare things that it's better that the group broke up and not fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't say, well, they made a bad album. No, we made 2 albums. We only made 2 albums. I even told the Hall of Fame people that. I said, you know, we only got 2 albums. And they like, 2 albums. That's all we made was 2 albums. The first one, like NWA and the Posse, was a compilation. But Priority labeled it like it was an NWA because it was in between albums and stuff like that. So they wanted more sales. So they picked up the old compilation Dre had did, put NWA and the Posse, and put all our names on it. And it went gold, even platinum, I think.
Man. Hey, so currently in the music game, who are the artists that you like? Who are the ones that you listen to? You're like, none? Zero.
No. I don't listen to it. I just don't. This is for the new millennials. I can't do it. Kendrick's is cool and stuff like that. It's few, but I like the old school. Right now, it's too many artists. It's probably more artists than fans now. That's how it seems like it, because, well, there is no groups. It's all solo people, you know. It's just not my thing. That's all. Nothing wrong with it. It's still selling. It's gonna always be there. Hip hop is here. Rock and roll they here to stay. They ain't leaving. Rock and roll wasn't supposed to last. Hip hop wasn't supposed to last. Disco, it ain't never coming back. Yeah, but I just don't get into. I just don't. So
it's not that you don't like the artist. It's just
it's just a new millennium. It's not my style.
It's not you.
Yeah,
it's not
you.
So
I can't say nothing bad about it because they still making money. So, but I can say this: a lot of these artists today couldn't have made it back in our days.
Why is that?
Think about it. When you hear a song back then, the old school, you know what group, what camp it came from. Nobody sounded the same. Public Enemy, Run DMC, LL, us, Too Short. All of us was totally different. Totally different. But everybody had talent. Nowadays, you could be a star on TikTok, YouTube. Everybody got some video. Everybody got a single. Everybody. Back then, these songs now was the songs on the tapes back then, the demo tapes that they send into and they just throw them in the, you know.
Well, no, I was saying that too. I was talking to one of my homies. I was saying, I mean, granted, I can only talk about the 90s, but even in the 90s, everybody sounded differently. And if you sounded like somebody else, you had beef.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that was a problem if somebody came out sounding like somebody else. That artist was like, yo, you just jocking my whole style. You know, and then fans would say the same thing. They'd be like, yo, you sounding just like, because I remember when Shine first came out from Bad Boy, there was like, he sounds kind of like Biggie.
Oh, okay.
You know, and they were like, yo, what's going on here? Or Gorilla Black, that was from Compton, he was kind of sounding like Biggie too. And people were getting on him like that. It's like, yo, you're sounding like somebody else here. You know, like you had to be, and I think that's even why Bone and Crucial Conflict had a beef, because Bone thought Crucial Conflict sounded like them.
Yeah. Right? Like Bone was another us. It's just a different style. That's all it was. Different style. And they hit. They you know, they were separated. Nowadays, the ones that hit are kind of ones that kind of separate a little bit. because everybody's sounding like the one that's hitting. You know, everybody.
That's true. You got one person that hits, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that's the hit."
Yeah.
Let me start doing that.
Let me put this on my voice. This is what everybody uses. You know. Come on.
No, you're right, man. Sometimes you turn on. You hit your Spotify playlist and you're like, hold up, who's this? Which one is this? Who is this? You know what I mean? Like, you think it's somebody and then it's not. And you're like, oh, this is somebody.
Well, see, the problem is it's so easy to make music now. You don't have to go to the big studios, and somebody have to have some money to get in the big studios and book time and all. Now you just do it on your computer at home, in the closet, or whatever.
It's easier to make music. Yeah. Which could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? Like the good
like
thing
both.
You got people
good is still going, but it's bad because everybody can do it.
Everybody could do it. Yeah, that's like the good thing. Those people that are talented now have the access in order to be able to do it. But then the people who aren't talented also got the access.
Yeah. I mean, because you ain't got to try to nowadays. It's so different. You ain't got to try to get picked up by a major label, and them days are done. Just everybody's their own independent now. So I guess I ain't got nothing against it, but it just ain't my style.
So Yella, okay, I'm not sure if this was you, but were you the one that started directing porn? Was that you?
I did it for 15 years.
15. So how did you
over 350 movies?
Over 300
because I jumped in it like producing records. I went in and bought the cameras, the still camera, computer to edit. I took all the pictures, I filmed everything, all that. Only thing I wasn't was in the scene. But you might have seen my hand sometime. It may appear.
How did you maneuver from being the mega star NWA to behind the scenes directing facials?
A buddy of mine, he knew E too. He actually brought it to E first. He asked him first. E never answered him. So he came right to me. So as he asked me, I said, yeah, we can do it. I didn't ask how. Nothing. I said, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Because I jumped in it as not all the girls. No, I jumped in it as business. That's how, I'm making a movie. I'm making 4 or 5 movies a month for 15 years.
Man. Is it a lucrative business directing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, 15 years.
Yeah. So your homie came to you, said, yo, I got this proposition. You was like, I'm in it. How was that first directing scene?
It took, I'll put it like this. I usually could do scenes in 22 minutes. If the scene is 22 minutes, that's all it takes to shoot it. But that first one took about 5 hours. Because this other guy was trying to tell me, try to give us some advice of the way his shooting is. I did it that way, and I just didn't like, man, this is lazy or this. So I end up one of the first ones to be moving the camera, following the people, and right in there, not just a set shot. No, I brought hip hop in for the first time. Nobody had that. Hip hop beats and everything.
Man, so you was an innovator even in the adult.
The last 2 movies I did was like 07 around 08 was called Straight Outta Compton. Way before the movie was even thought of. I made volume 1 and volume 2. Straight Outta Compton. Sure did.
Man, so what kept you in there? You know what I mean? Was that like how did you just decide this is something I want to do and continue to do it for 15 years?
Well, what I did on the day of E's funeral, they put the dirt on him. The crowd, finally left. There was a couple of people left. And I stood there right there. That day, I said, music, I'm done with it. Just like that. I didn't even think about it, didn't contemplate. No, I said, music's done. So after that, I went full force and started putting my face on the box covers of the movies. At first, I used to shoot, had an alias name. I didn't, I'm like, nah, I don't put my name on it. But after that, I just jumped in it full force. That's all.
So Eazy's death made you just go, you know what? Eazy's gone.
Yeah, because the music, it seemed like the music just came out of me. I was done. I ain't getting music no more. I don't care for it.
Yeah, man. No, I mean that I can see how because I know when my pops passed, when you see that dirt go over that grave, it is a weird feeling where you're just like,
this like real. What just happened? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's just man, life. But instead of me sitting there crying, no, I'm going forward. Because quite sure he would want me to go forward and not sit here and be 10 years later, I'm still at the cemetery crying about I lost my mother and father and 2 brothers. You just have to go forward. You can't dwell. Of course, you're not going to never forget them, but you can't sit there and dwell. You gotta boom, go.
Yeah. Man. So what made you stop? What made you stop?
I'm gonna tell you just like this, just like the music. 08 came, and this is when the internet started picking up. So scenes and girls was free on the internet. It killed the business. So I was done right there. Never done it again. I was like, I'm over.
Man, the internet killed the business for adult entertainment, same way it did with music, huh?
Yeah.
Man. Oh,
definitely.
Man, and now you got your book over here. Now you're an author.
And didn't plan on being that either.
How long did it take you to write your book?
A year and a half during the whole pandemic, during the whole time off. Oh yeah, because I've been DJing around the world since the movie came out. I've been to 100 countries. Man. I mean, from Korea, Vietnam, Bali, Sri Lanka, all over Australia 8 times, China, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia. I can just spin a map, a globe, and point it. I've been there.
And so your influence is all over the world. So NWA really touched almost every country all over the globe.
I knew that when I was doing shows and on the airplane, the movie was on the airplane. I was like, wow, we must be doing something.
Did y'all know? Hey, during that time, did y'all know that y'all was having that impact? Like while y'all was making that, did y'all know like, hey, we got something that's going to change the world?
If we had them thoughts, we wouldn't be talking here today. Our thing back then, at that time, we loved the music. We did it. We did it what we wanted to do. We didn't make music for the radio. We did it our way. We opened our door. That's what we talked about. We didn't talk about Disneyland or New York or Paris, places we ain't never been. This is what we talked about. And that's what we did. And we never even thought of gold records. None of that. It was about just making a few bucks. We didn't know nothing about millions, and we didn't know nothing like that. It wasn't even a thought. Hall of Fame, that wasn't even a thought. Gold records wasn't a thought. Platinum, didn't know nothing about that. A movie 30 years later, a movie about us, it's just like, nah. We just did our thing, and then we just hit after hit after hit, and just wow.
Speaking of the movie, how did you like it? Was it pretty accurate?
I liked the music. Well, no, I mean it was like between 60 and 70%.
Okay,
because there's so much.
That's good for Hollywood.
Yeah. Just like the Detroit scene when they ran us off the stage. That really happened. But once we got off the stage, we all ran back to the hotel. They didn't stop us and throw us in jail. Nah, it just had to. It looked good for the movie.
Yeah,
they just made some stuff more Hollywood and stuff. Like when my character Neil Brown went into the hospital and talked to E, then he left the tape of the Bone Thugs. When I went in the hospital, he was already in the induced coma, so I never got to talk to him in the hospital. So it just looked good for the screen.
Thugs was already popping when Easy, passed away.
Yeah,
there's no need for a demo tape because he already knew how he.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they just did different stuff, But I liked the movie. I was really, I sat back and I looked at the movie on the big screen. And I'm like, wow, we was really that big, or look like we was that big? I'm just because it's amazing. Because
you're in it. You were in it, so you didn't really see it from fans' eyes, from different perspective.
Oh yeah, because in our days, I'm gonna say me, never thought about a star. me and Dre felt more like stars when we was DJing. That's when we was a star of the neighborhood or something. But then I didn't feel like, this is just work. Just work so much. So it was just amazing.
All right, Yella, man. I know I had you on here for an hour, man. My fault on that one. So you got to get your book. Is Straight Outta Compton, My Untold Story.
And I'm going to show you what the book is.
Oh, yeah, but right there. You could get, I got it off of Amazon, but you can get it almost anywhere.
Yeah.
You know
can get it at, you can get autographed ones from my website, djyella.nwa.com. And I actually sign them and mail them out. I've been sending them. I just sent one to Bahrain, Israel, Switzerland, all over the UK, all over Australia. The places I DJ, it seems like the books are going there. It's just amazing.
Man, it is so dope. One, it's dope that y'all are getting y'all flowers, right? Like people are understanding the importance that y'all have, that you have, that everybody, because usually, NWA is Cube, Dre, Eazy-E, right? But you're getting your flowers, MC Ren's getting his flowers, all those who is involved deserve their flowers as well, because y'all have all y'all as a group impacted everybody. You know what I mean? You impacted people like me who wasn't even when y'all started, I was probably like 4 years old. So I didn't even hear y'all music, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I know your music.
Yeah.
I know all your albums. I have them all and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all influenced so many folks, and y'all deserve to be appreciated, because without y'all, especially on the West Coast, without y'all, there'd be no
West Coast.
No West Coast.
I don't think it would be. Not at all.
Not at all.
It'd be all East.
And then our sound would sound like the East, right?
Yeah.
It'll be all East, but y'all made sure that the West Coast stayed the West, and we took it from y'all, and we keep the West, because the West Coast still got a West Coast sound. That's what I still love about us. We're not one of those that kind of sound like everybody else. You know what I mean? Kendrick still got that West Coast sound. YG still got it. He goes to the Bay, E40 Too Short.
All of them.
I am so all of them, and it's because of y'all. You know what I mean? It's really because of y'all.
I guess
y'all created a sound for the West, and we kept it there. Even the style. Y'all even like people coming back here in LA dressing like y'all.
Yeah. Think about all the pro teams now. Black is in their uniform, an alternate jersey, something. Black hat. All of it. It was nothing but the Raiders had the black. Think about the Kings was purple and gold. They all black now.
Yeah, man. Y'all really were transformative, man. Y'all was innovative, and y'all affected so many people. So I just want to say I appreciate you, DJ Yella, and I definitely appreciate you for coming on and taking time to speak to your boy, man. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's an honor. I thank you.
The honor's here, man. You don't know. Like I was telling one of my homies, Alex, I was like, yo, I got DJ Yella today. And he was excited, and he's 23. Right.
Wow.
He's 23 and he was excited.
Yeah. It's a whole new generation now. You can't stop it now.
He's 23 and white.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, he wanted to be on the interview. I was like, nah, man, I got this. This is me. This is my show.
Yeah.
This is not the Slim and Alex show, man. This is But hey, I appreciate it, Yella. Anytime you want to come on, of course, man, just holler at me. We'll get you on anytime, any place, anywhere. And
when you finish the book, hit me up and tell me about it.
Oh, definitely will, man. I got you. I'm going to finish that thing. I'm halfway through it. So
okay.
Yeah, so I
got a lot more to go.
I know. I got you, Yella. Hey, once again appreciate you coming on. DJ Yella, I'm Natomas Slimm, Chopping Up Gang. We out of here.
But don't share it, it's a secret. 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 Hype beats lock them in a dungeon. Want me